Hey, welcome back to the show, Total Financial Solutions, Safer Money Hour. Okay, folks, hey, next week I want you to stay tuned. We have Tarek from London is going to be joining us next week. We're reviewing some of his songs. Folks, let me tell you, his job is to select songs for us. You might have heard him last week on his debut here at Total Financial Solutions, Safer Money Hour. He's going to be giving us songs that he finds important, valuable, things that he sees as trends, things that are happening from, as they say, across the pond. So stay tuned next week for that part of the show. All right, we're talking about your family's finances. Of course, getting out of debt, managing money, some things you need to know about inherited IRAs. Now, look, when somebody passes away, the chances of you inheriting some of their retirement account, it's going to be real. There may be an IRA, 401k. We want to talk about the differences between those two things. But what do you do when you inherit somebody else's retirement account? So we're going to go over that here in just a sec.
Well, and a big part of this is we've seen lately quite a bit of folks come to us with these accounts, and what they don't realize is that it's not just like regular money. When you have an IRA, that's an individual retirement account. That means that that doesn't talk about the investment. It doesn't talk about where the money's sitting or how it earned interest or what type of fees. It's talking strictly about the conversation your money has with the government. Now, the government has their hands on this money, so to speak. So basically what I mean is when money gets put into an IRA, someone usually did it for a tax benefit. Now, whether the tax benefit was today or for the future, that's to be told later. But with an inherited IRA, we're normally talking about traditional monies that someone puts money into an account and they received a tax deduction for that deposit. Now, what does that mean on the back end? Well, the government always wants to get paid. And if that didn't happen in your lifetime or in the lifetime of the person that opened the account, it still has to be reconciled with the beneficiary. And what does all that mean? It means if I put money in an account today and I didn't pay tax on it and I die before I got to spend that money and my wife or my kids get it or a friend or a charity gets it, there's a conversation that still has to be had and the taxes have to be settled at that point.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to pay taxes on that money. It's nice that you got a tax write-off or your kids did or your spouse, whoever was the initial depositor of those dollars, but eventually the IRS wants its piece. Now, here's a big part of that formula. If you inherit it and you're a spouse, then you can take those dollars just as your own money. Just put it into your own account. You can put it in what's called an inherited IRA or spousal IRA, spousal inherited IRA, beneficiary IRA, depends on how it's termed with the company. But the concept is it was never your money to begin with. Now, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to merge your account and those dollars together. Now, here's why that's an important thing. If a husband and wife are going to have each other's account, what you don't want to do is take those dollars and put them into your account and mix those monies.
Well, a big part of it, this is that tax conversation. In order for those monies to leave the IRA, it crosses over that tax umbrella, if you will. So think of the money you put in to an IRA has an umbrella over it, shielded from taxes, and the rain here is the taxes, right? So once the money goes in, it has to stay inside there. Now, you might have some different choices inside. You might pick some CDs, you might pick some annuities, some stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever have you. That's a conversation inside the IRA, and you have the ability to move in and out of those investments within the IRA, right? But when you pass away and that goes now to your beneficiary, they still have those choices, but it has to be done in a different fashion. And what I mean by that is when those monies come over, you have to be a bit more diligent in how the monies come to you. And then the other part is very, very key here, and where Arif was going with this, is when you've received the dollars as a beneficiary, let's just talk about parent to child, okay? Because spouse to spouse, there are some very favorable rules for a spouse to take over an IRA, as Arif was illustrating. So those rules are a little bit more flexible for them. So when it's going from a parent to a child, what you have to understand is when the child receives the money, or anybody for that matter that's non-spousal, okay, but the child's the easiest, I think, because a lot of people leave their money to their kids once they don't have a spouse around. When that person receives that money, what they do with it in the first year determines what will happen for the life of that account. And what I mean is if they make a decision to take it all out, well, then kind of the conversation's over. They pay the piper, and whatever's left over after they pay taxes, That's what they have to play with, so to speak, or to spend. But if they were to take out a portion of it, that could dictate the rules for taking out the rest of the money for the rest of their life, because you really only have a few choices. One, pay all the taxes today and, you know, give half away to the government, which is about what you can expect, and keep the other half. Another option is to do what's called a 5-year payout. So you take the money out and it has to be out of the account within 5 years. So that's kind of a default decision you make by doing that.
You know, sometimes you're going to have to, or want to at least, set up almost like parameters and requirements. Because if I gave you something that you never earned, you never worked for, you never sacrificed for, and I gave you that this money, wouldn't you feel, who cares? Look, we hear it all the time. It's $100,000. It doesn't matter. I don't plan on, look, it's all free money to me anyway. So I know I'm going to only get $45,000 by the time I pay fees and taxes. So who cares? It's $45,000 I never had.
Right.
If you knew that, and you were going to leave it to somebody who was that, I don't know, I don't want to say laissez-faire, but that incompetent with money because they didn't earn it and they don't understand it, folks, I would encourage you to leave restrictions that say, you know what, I know it's $100,000, I know you never earned it. And son, if you earn this, if I'm going to give you this money whenever I die, then you're only going to get a portion of it every year for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'm going to spread it out. Because if this is the thing that you're waiting for in order to live your life financially, then you're going to make bad choices with it anyway.
And what an incredible amount of disrespect one would have in that scenario.
Thank you.
Because, look, as the parent or the giftor in this case, as our parent-child scenario, and this is where we see it the most and has become the most problematic, and it's probably always been this way, is you worked, you went without, you didn't spend. Those dollars that are in that account are a function of you going without, period. And when those transfer over, like Arif said, they don't have the same respect. Like, well, I'm only going to... Really? Because if that's the case, then I'll just give you $45,000 right now, and then I'll give the other $50 to charity or something like that. Or to somebody, to some stranger. Now, your kid wouldn't want that, but they'll give it to the government out of haste, when there's a smarter, better way, in our opinion, to do it, and that's to stretch it out in most cases.
That is a very real scenario, because there are products and services out there that give you that option, that go through, they build it in, and look, they actually kind of take away the pressure from you as a parent. I'll give you a good example. I know somebody who, it's kind of a side note, but it's similar in the sense of the discipline and proper decision-making that we make as parents, where he has a 26-year-old, 29-year-old, and a 30-year-old, and they're all living back at home. None of them work. The spouse doesn't work. They're all sitting around. He works 7 days a week, no joke, 7 days a week. And the disrespect that those young people, they're not even young people, stinking, they're adults.
They're
right?
adults,
I'm married and kids at that time. Had my own house mortgage and car payments and life. And yet, the lack of respect that those kids, those children have for the hard work and dedication that the parents make, how much more disrespectful will they do behind their back or when they're dead? So you know these kids. You know which one of your children are good with money. You know which one of them are disrespectful to other people, to things that aren't theirs. You know, that I don't mean juvenile things, but as they get older, you know which ones are careful, thoughtful, I don't know if the right word... Considerate people. And that's important, because if you're going to leave money to somebody, why not leave it to somebody who's going to do good things with it?
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's a big deal, because I think we've just seen so much of this that a few measures, preemptive measures, a few safeguards, if you care, if it matters to you at all, if you're going to give someone 100% of something, or you're going to give them half of it, but it's going to cost you 100%, just give them half now. That's kind of my opinion. If you want to make this a gift and not something, because like you've said in the past, I'll probably mess it up, Arif, but if you want to see someone's character, give them a whole boatload of money and see what they do with it, and that, or at least their financial character. But you'll start to see that this will exacerbate any type of flaw, I think, in their character. You give them a lot, and it could be detrimental. And we've seen it a lot of times where you'll have 3 children, we have clients that have had 3 children, and one will be the one that's kind of the good child, the good son, the good daughter. The other one's kind of like middle of the road, and the one that just goes by the wayside. And they want to be fair, quote unquote, fair to all of them, then give them the same amount of money. And isn't it a surprise that the quote unquote good child still has all that money and then some?
Yeah.
The other one kind of middle of the road, whatever, and then the last one spends it all. It's almost like a textbook equation when you see that type of recipe there.
And the foundation is this. If the foundation is teaching our kids, having them learn, having them grow, there is never a moment in time when you're done learning. Yeah, I still read books. I still go to seminars. I still take classes. I still, right?
Yeah.
If I'm supposed to be the 11-year host of a 1,800, nearly 2,000 radio shows, if you will, then shouldn't your kid who does whatever else for a living learn something? And I share it with you because of this. There will be a moment in time when they will have to make a choice. Just like the supervisor at McDonald's, the police officer who becomes a sergeant, the kid who becomes a captain of the team versus a regular player. All of those are power positions with decisions and choices with consequences. And you will get to see, as Jeff was saying, the character. Give your young people a chance to develop their character. Give them leadership positions. It's why I love Boy Scouts. I can tell you, I never had a chance to join Scouting, but I can tell you that I have never seen a better organization that allows young people to lead, that gives them accountability and responsibility, learning to be a leader. Because what you need is your young people need to have a chance to fail. And they need to have a chance to learn that what they're doing may or may not work, and it is okay to start over. So if we give somebody money, look, Tom Hanya, he's one of the best-selling authors on PBS. If you ever watch PBS, he's one of those guys that has a few books now, 3 books if I can remember right. We had him a live guest on our radio show a few weeks ago, and he said, people that save money and they don't take that trip, they don't buy the boat, they don't buy the RV or the car, leave their money to the kids who never worked for it, and then they go and take the trip, buy the car, buy the RV, and spend the money as if it just came from the sky. So enjoy your life. Leave the kids life insurance if you want to leave them something. That's tax-free. At least nothing will go to the government.
And it's an inheritance that you can leave at a discount. I mean, you said you can spend a nickel and leave $1 to your kids. Now,
that's right.
Put some zeros behind that, and it makes a lot of sense.
If you take $1 from your retirement accounts, your IRAs or 401ks, and you leave it to your kids, they receive about 55 cents.
Yep.
If you take checking account money, checking and savings, and you leave them $1, they receive $1. But if you take life insurance and you want to leave it to your kids, then it takes 15 cents, let's say, or 10 cents, and you leave them $1. Mm-hmm. Right? So the balance is, what is the goal? If you want to spend the rest of that 80 or 90 cents while you're alive, then that's the way to go. I don't want you to not spend money so that your kids can have an inheritance someday.
Well, and it's kind of a freeing feeling to know that you're going to leave something behind. And if you take Warren Buffett's stance on it, you're going to leave enough money so that your kids can do anything, but not so much that they'll do nothing. I mean, that's one of the challenges, is what's that right number? Well, you can do different things with different children if you like. You can set up individual policies for each child. You can set up, there's so many different instruments out there financially that help you control from the grave, so to speak. And what it can do is it can really help you safeguard, like I said earlier in the show, that against some of those situations that you can kind of tell, look, we know by the time our kids are in their 20s or 30s, probably by their teenage years, but certainly their 20s or 30s, what they're going to be like for the rest of their lives. They're not really going to change too much, plus or minus a few dollars, a few careers. Maybe one climbs the ladder, the corporate ladder. Maybe one becomes a business mogul, or maybe one hits the lottery. Who knows? But you can always see what they're going to be like around their 20s, 30s at the latest. And at that point, why that's important is because if you're 20 years their senior or 30 years their senior, you've already been through that part of your life. You're watching them go through that part of their life, and you can kind of get a sense of what's going to happen. So use that as a good barometer to how you're going to leave kids money. And if you need to put some safeguards in place, you can stretch these dollars out, whether it's through an inherited IRA, life insurance. There's all types of things out there, but really look at the writing on the wall. I think that's the biggest part of that.
And you know your kids, this is the hardest conversation to have about your family and about your children. You know which one of them is a dishonest person. I mean, you know. I don't mean an event. I mean somebody who is a habitual liar. I know people like that. I had a cousin. He wouldn't, if he was to tell me it's dark outside, I'd have to look, even if it's 2 a.m. You also know when you have somebody in your life that is lousy with money. Now, nobody wants to admit that they raised a kid their best they could, and the kid still chose at 18 or 20 or 30 years old to be a thief. They steal. If they see a wallet they go through, they might turn it in, but they'll take the cash out. Right? That's a shameful thing to have and say, and here is my daughter, or here is my son. But you know those people. And so be very careful if you're going to leave them money. You're going to give them power. And if they make bad choices with the money that they work for, then they're going to make worse choices with the money they didn't work for. So I encourage you, in your trust, in your will, meet with your attorneys and your financial planners, set up an opportunity to say, child 1 gets this, child 2 gets that, child 3 receives this. And you can do that without any judgment of love. Nobody's questioning that. But with the truth that sometimes money can cause more problems to the person who's unable to handle it. When we come back, we're going to continue with some more information on your financial life, kind of putting it all together. How do you make sure that when you're ready to retire, when you're ready to build your financial life, you're not in a position to make such big mistakes that you can't recover? How do you do that? How do you build it so that if there's a hiccup, a good example, somebody in their mid-50s took out all of the money from their retirement account and bought a motorcycle repair shop down in southern LA, put it all together, and lost it. And how do you rebuild when you have 5 years or 10 years left?
And that didn't just affect him, did it?
No, of course. His wife, his children, their plans, their life, the things they thought that were going to be, all of a sudden are not. Now, there's still a way to rebuild, but how do you do that when we come back? That and a whole lot more on your place for News Talk and Information. I'm Arif Halaby, along with Jeff Gerard on AM 1220 KHTS.
Get personal training in a class setting at Ballacor Fitness Studio. Hi, I'm Ellen Como, co-owner and inventor of the Ballacor. I have been in the fitness industry for over 25 years, and I'm excited to introduce you to a fun, challenging, and results-oriented workout that will give you the body you desire without the impact on your joints.
Hey, it's Danny Liu, co-owner of Ballacor Fitness Studio. My team and I are focused on building relationships and improving lifestyles. It's the personal touches that make our studio stand out. Join our Ballacor family for a 1-week free trial and discover why Ballacor Fitness is quickly becoming the hottest place to work out in Santa Clarita. Visit us at ballacor.net, that's BALACORE.net for a class schedule, or call 661-259-7623 to begin your journey to better health and your new hot body. Like us on Facebook at Ballacor.
Services USA is your destination for natural stone slabs, tile, mosaic, glass tile, kitchen, bath, interior design. In-house fabricators and installers, bonded and insured. Services USA features new wood look porcelain planks, bringing the strength and durability of porcelain while maintaining the finished appearance of a wooden floor. Design is in our nature. Let us help you make your dreams a reality. Shop our selection of porcelain wood plank at everyday low prices. Upgrade your home today. Services USA on the Old Road in Santa Clarita.
Parenting is not easy. However, it's one of the most important and rewarding efforts of your life. Get more and better tools to help you parent by attending the upcoming local event. It's just a phase, so don't miss it. You'll get tools to help you through every phase of your child's life, especially those challenging areas of technology and sexuality. This special event takes place Saturday, October 3rd, 9 a.m. until noon, at Valencia United Methodist Church on McBean. Details at umcv.org.
SCBI makes me believe that I can be free and creative.
SCBI makes me believe that I can achieve anything in my life.
SCBI makes me believe that I can be a leader and achieve great things.
SCBI makes me believe that I can truly be the greatest inventor in history.
SCBI makes me believe that I can make change in the world.
SCBI makes me believe that I can do whatever I want
and I have the power to make it come true.
SCVI makes me believe that I can be the greatest ballerina there ever was.
SCVI makes me believe that I can strive for my passion.
SCVI makes me believe I could do anything I put my mind to.
Free to think. Inspired to lead. SCVI, bringing your dreams and passions to life. For more information, please visit ileadschools.org.
I can't believe you're eating that apple. I thought your teeth hurt.
They did, until I visited a New Smile Dental Group. They took care of me the same day.
A New Smile?
They're now in Santa Clarita on Camp Plenty in Soledad. It's the place with the Big Apple logo. Everything's state-of-the-art, and they finance it all without a credit check.
And your teeth look whiter.
Oh yeah, the whitening's free with their concierge plan.
A New Smile Dental Group now in Santa Clarita. A newsmiledental.com.
Sweet, salty, tastiest, bacon and pancakiest. Big yawns are okay, yummy syrups, yes way. Butter pecan, blueberry, old-fashioned strawberry. Never empty coffee pot. Mom says it hits the spot. Almonds are the fluffiest, Dad's hugs the scruffiest. Scrambled eggy, pepper shaky, orange juicy, wide awake, stuffed French toastiest. Waffles with the mustiest, buttermilky, smooth, the silky taste great. Love on a plate.
IHOP, everything you love about breakfast.
Hometown station, KHTS.
Thanks for listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Hey, welcome back to the show. Total Financial Solutions, Safer Money Hour. Arif Halaby, Jeff Gerard, as we finish up this hour of the program. We're talking about your financial life, wanting to inherit or to leave money. Of course, everybody wants to inherit, that old uncle. We had one of those clients. Heard from an old aunt, hadn't heard from for years, and, third aunt, cousin twice removed or something. I guess it does happen, like in the movies. People can inherit money from that long-lost uncle in London. You have to move there. It's a castle.
Yeah.
Live there for a year. Those stories. You might be somebody who's trying to reset your life. Maybe you've made some big mistakes, whether it be in the real estate bubble or the stock market crash. A lot of times we get excited and we lose focus on what we're really doing. I think, number one, you have to have a destination. And rich is not a destination. Wealthy is not a destination. As much money as I ever can possibly want is not a place to be. Now, what is? Have a dollar figure, whether it's a monthly income, whether it's a dollar figure in a lump sum, whether it's a number of houses. You need to know when you've arrived at your financial destination. I want to be able to have my car paid for. There might be 6 or 8 things that you have in your life that you can have definitively and physically meet. And if you have that, then it is not subject to a feeling. I love feelings. I'm not going down that road there. I'm just saying that 1 + 1 is 2, whether you feel like it's 4 or whether you really want it to be 9. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you feel like or how passionately you believe that 8 and 10 or that you can be this kind of a financial wizard or that your math. Nobody cares. They care about 1 + 1 is 2. If it is, it is. So by having that place, then that's the first step to recovery. Knowing where you need to be. And maybe you have to tamper down those expectations. When I was young, I wanted to be an astronaut. After it took me a couple times to reasonably understand calculus, I figured math is not my thing.
Well, you need calculus for?
Yeah, I mean, look, I love algebra. I can go up to geometry, trigonometry all day long. Algebra 2, loved it. Something happened at calculus. Suddenly, physics, loved physics. Took AP physics in high school. But man, oh man, I had to change my expectations. I thought, as an astronaut, you have to know a lot more math than just regular calculus 101. So there's going to be times in your life when you have to adjust your expectations. I probably won't be president of the United States. I'm kind of figuring that's right about now, not going to happen.
I was going to vote for you.
Thank you. I was going to run, but there's too many other people in the race. So what about your financial expectations? Maybe you thought the big house on the hill or the bottom of the lake of Lake Tahoe right on the water. Maybe that's not the place, but maybe, I don't know, Lake Shasta, maybe Lake Nacimiento. You know, there's different places that you can still have parts or maybe most of your dream. That's number one. Number two is I want you to forgive yourself. If you made mistakes, why did you make a mistake? Was it because you were trying to make life better for your children, grandchildren? Those are wonderful goals. Admirable things, really. If they were down the road of, I don't know, greed, arrogance, you weren't a very nice person to be around because you were just continually being that person that could never be corrected. Everybody thought they knew better, and you're the one that knows, and at the end, maybe they were right. Forgive yourself and forgive those around you. I think that's a very important part to the next step. And the third thing I want you to do is to have a plan and follow it. The plan can be something like, you know, I'm good at something. How did this person recover? They are good at something. And after losing everything they had in a repair shop that just didn't work out, what did they do? They said, what am I good at? They went and got a job at that. They may not like it. It might not be their dream job, but darn it, it pays them a substantial amount of money. The biggest lie that I have seen is people following this, follow your dreams and the money will follow. What? What do you think? I'm Paris Hilton with a bank account of $1 billion or $100 million? No, I can't afford to follow my dreams because I spend money. Now, don't spend money. Live within your means. Reduce your cell phone bill. Don't buy a new car. Don't buy clothes. Then follow your dreams. Be a vagabond. I'm okay with that. So somewhere there's a combination of follow your dreams and don't spend a heck of a lot more money, especially money you don't have. That's really the key.
And I think giving yourself a timeline as well, so you have a goal to meet, so you know that you have some type of you have a time where you're supposed to check in on that destination as well.
Stay tuned in the second hour of the program, folks, as we come back after the top of the hour. Arif, Halaby, and Jeff Gerard on Total Financial Solutions Save for Money Hour.